Hello, welcome and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the Estonian language. Without further ado, let's dive straight into the video. Welcome back once again. Just like I said, today we're going to be talking about the Estonian language. As so many of you guys have been asking me a lot of questions about should I learn the Estonian language if I come to study in Estonia? Learning the Estonian language, will it help me to get a better job when I'm done with my studies? Will I be able to become a permanent resident if I speak the Estonian language? And so on and so on and so on. There's so many questions about the Estonian language. And that's why in this video, I'm going to be talking about the Estonian language itself. But before I actually dive into the Estonian language, let's give a bit of a background about the language itself. The Estonian language is one of the national language that is spoken by very few people in the world. The second language that is spoken by people that are like so few. The world population of Estonia is 1.3 million. And aside from Iceland, Estonia is the second lowest national language that is spoken by people in the world. So now you should understand why the language is something fragile and why it's so important for the locals to want foreigners who come here to want to speak the language. Before I actually start answering the question again, I'm actually going to be sharing a bit of my own life experience. I don't speak Estonian language on a very good level, but I know some of the language. I know some of the words. I could communicate like on some communication level. I am confident. But I just want to give like a backstory because most of you guys know that I used to study in Tartu, and in 2017 I decided to move to Tallinn to study. And when I moved to Tallinn, I knew like not so many people here in Tallinn, and I had to leave my job back in Tartu and so on and so forth. And then I got a job after like a month as a customer service in which I have to speak the Estonian language. My language skills back then was very, very little that I'm just like, what should I do? But luckily for me, I have taken the language course in the University of Tartu, the A1 language course, and I was able to understand some words. I can understand some words, I can understand, I can count like numbers, I know the time and stuff. And then when I went for the job interview, they asked me like, okay, the job is in Estonian. Do you think you can manage? Do you think you can learn? I'm like, yeah, I'm ready to learn. Believe me, the first 2 months was hell for me. The first 2 months I had to like learn a lot of stuff. I am like not very confident. I don't want to stay in front of the client because I just felt like I'm embarrassing myself. So it was hard. It was also harsh because I was just like thrown into the front line and okay, go and start working. But believe me, I came out strong and I ended up working for the company for about 3 years. So it's like I didn't know what to do from the beginning. And then I end up being like this guy that speaks Estonia like on some certain level, in communicational level, like in when I'm in the store, like I can talk to the client from buying to like selling and then taking the money from them in Estonian language, giving them the receipt and telling them to have a good day. So that's a bit of a backstory for me. But as an IT student also, I was able to like get a job in tech after my studies, which is also another advantage because I don't need to learn the Estonian language to work in tech. But I'm gonna give you like few points in which why you need to learn the Estonian language. Estonian language is a language that is not spoken by so many people in the world. And just imagine you being abroad somewhere in the nearest future, maybe in Germany, maybe in England and so on, and you just saw an Estonian and you're able to say like tere, kuidas läheb, like hello, how are you doing? Just imagine how comfy and how they will feel about that. Because this is not a language that is easy to learn. This is a language that is very, very difficult. And they know this too. So one of the first advantage of learning the Estonian language is that it's an additional smile for you from an Estonian. So it's like when you go to the stores, especially all this our kiosk store, which is like most of the people that work there are like old people, basically. Majority of them, not all of them. Um, most of them do speak English, but when I do go to those stores, I tend to like speak in Estonian because I'm just going to buy like maybe a chewing gum or maybe like Red Bull or something, and I'm just like speaking in Estonian, like this is what I want. I'm going to be paying by card. Have a nice day, and those things just bring smile out of their faces. It's like it's like you don't know the language so well, but you are making an effort. And this is what they want to see. And this just like gives you a hedge above all every other person. And secondly, like you all have known, learning the Estonian language we give you an edge over some certain things, like getting a job, for example. I've said this so many times in my YouTube videos, and this is something that I will keep saying. Um, in IT world or in tech or in whatever, you want to work as a software developer, you want to work as a backend, whatever, or product design or stuff like that, you might not need Estonian language because this job doesn't require you to speak in Estonian. But let's say you want to work in communication, let's say you study nursing, let's say you want to become a doctor and you decide to settle in Estonia after your studies. So for this type of job, you have to talk to the people. You need to have patients that come, like patients will come to the hospital, you have to communicate. If you work in the media industry, you have to interview people in Estonia, like people will not speak English to you because the national language is Estonian. And this is a language in which Estonians are trying to protect. So for me, I just think that learning the language gives you edge when you decide to live in Estonia or decide to settle in Estonia or even decide to come and study in Estonia. And secondly, I think learning the language is also out of respect for the culture, for the country. Because I believe that to be able to like actually understand a culture fully, you have to learn about their history, you have to learn about the language, you have to learn about the food, you have to learn about their way of life. Just like the saying that says, like when you are in Rome, you behave like a Roman. So when you're in Estonia, you behave like an Estonian, and you learn the language. You don't have to like copy their way of life completely because some of their way of life is not so good. It's a bit like something that they should change. But there are some good aspect of it in which you can actually use and like that will make a very positive impact in your own personal life, like being punctual, like not talking unnecessarily when it's not needed, like not giving fake smile, like those kind of things, that people do in most of the Western world, like just to like go and just like give you the fake smile and stuff, which you will not get in Estonia because this is the Estonian way and this is the genuine way and this is how we are supposed to live as a human being. And I mean, I don't want to go ranting on all of those stuff, but those are just the 2 points or three main points that I see that is the reason for you to actually learn the Estonian language. If you think that you've learned one or two things from this video, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe down to my channel. We want to hit 1K5 before the end of the month, which is in just a week. Thank you for watching this video and I hope to see you again when I upload a new video, and bye for now.